Welcome back to It's Cuppa Time. And today I have another in my series, my second series of videos on the new Paiste Bronze Gongs. And this one I call Bronze Meets Bronze, as I have the Paiste B8 gongs and I have some Chinese B20 gongs. So join me now on It's Cuppa Time. If you remember back in episode 0, I was answering a question from Donald B, and it was really a two-part question. The first part was about explaining how I put together a gong set and match things. So I did that back then. And that was basically with all my own Paiste bronze and nickel silver gongs. But he had a second part to his question about, can you talk about how mixing brands can somehow be complicated since the overtone structures are different? Well, I just want to say, I don't think it's that complicated. And I don't really, to my ear, hear the overtone structures as being different in any sort of a bad way. I mean, all gongs are different. Even among the Paiste gongs, they're different. As you would have seen back in that episode of putting the B8 bronze with the NS12 nickel silver, there's a lot of difference in the sound, but it worked out. And I find the same here. I've never had a problem mixing gongs, whether they be B20 bronze, NS12 nickel silver, stainless steel, aluminum, now the B8 gongs, and never a problem. I've always just played the gongs. I've always mixed them together. The big thing here is your ear. You really need to develop your ear, being able to hear all the shades and nuances of each gong that you have. And that's really what it comes down to. Being able to hear all of the sounds. And then also using your ear to go, this one will blend with that one. This one won't blend with that one. It's very much like cooking. You know, you look at your garden or you go to the store and you want to make dinner and you go, oh, this will go good with this and this and this. And you come home and you make a complete meal and it's wonderful. But you also go, ooh, this is great. That's not going to work if I'm going to have this. So it's the same thing with gongs. As I said before, I have well over 100 gongs, and not all of them work for the same purpose. Some gongs I use specifically for solo percussion work or improvised music work with other musicians. Some of them I use just for playing gong meditation sessions. So they all have their own purposes, and not every gong is going to work with every other gong. So that's another important thing to realize. You can have a lot of gongs and not all of them will work together. But you can pick out the ones that do work. And again, using your ear. And what does that come from? It comes from, as I constantly say, you have to practice. You have to work on your craft. You have to play your gongs. You know, you just have to play them. Okay. You get like sort of, for me anyway, it's a sound picture in my mind of each gong and the various shades and nuances of the sound it's capable of. And I try to keep that in mind when I'm looking to pick out other gongs to match up to them, or just trying to put together a setup for anything. It's like, it's all by ear. So a good example I have right here. I've been talking about, I went to the Chicago Drum Show last May, and I went to the Sentient Cymbal booth, and they had some gongs there, and I started playing them. And the first thing I heard was, oh, these sound interesting. Okay. I played them some more, and it was like, I can work with these gongs. I could hear the sound of those gongs and how they would fit in with many of the other gongs I have. So I ended up buying 3 gongs there. And I have all 3 here today just to show how it works. I mean, I just picked these out by ear at the drum show, brought them home, started working with them. A couple of them I fit right into my setup, and not a problem. I had no difficulty doing that because I know what my other gongs sound like and what they're capable of. So when I'm playing a new gong, I can hear how it might fit in or how it won't fit in. And the big thing I'm always looking for, as I've said many times, is just different voices. That's why I have a lot of gongs. I don't have a whole bunch of gongs that all sound the same. Unless they have the same pitch, but the gong has a completely different timbre, a different texture to it. I don't see the point of having so many things that sound alike. So I like to have different voices. It interests me. It keeps me interested in what I'm doing. If I use the same gong setup forever, I would just be bored out of my mind. And on my website, I do have a page where I go through gong history of my setups, in the past 20 years. And you can see they changed a lot. And they change all the time, too. So I'm just always looking to stay fresh. I'm always looking to add new sounds that inspire me. That inspire me to create different music. And it also comes down to whether I'm playing solo work, solo percussion concerts, or I'm doing a meditation session. When people come to see me again, I don't want them to go, oh, yeah, he sounds just like the last time. It's like your favorite band. If your favorite band played the same song list, the same 10 songs every time you saw them for 10 years, even if they were your favorite band, you'd kind of go, can't you put in some new songs? It's like that. So I don't want somebody to see me a year from now, 10 years from now or whatever and go, yeah, he just sounds the same. Because I do have people come see me multiple times, and that's important that I give them something new. And people have commented on that, wow, you sounded different today, and you had different sounds. So that means a lot to me that people do notice, and I know they do. So let's get to the gongs. Let's get to the playing here. First, let me explain what we have. I have a 28-inch sun gong. So all these Chinese gongs are, as far as I know, B20 bronze. 28-inch sun gong. I have a 22-inch chow from Sentient. And then here's it's about a 15.5, 16-inch chow. I have the number 0 bronze gong, the number 9A bronze gong. If you go to the previous video, you'll understand the A. The number 6 bronze gong, and a 22-inch heavy wind gong from Sentient. And I also have a couple other gongs here that I'll pick up and play and add to the setup as it goes. So B8 and B20, they work out well together. They are fine. Let's get started. Okay. So how did that sound to you? Sounded fine to me. It's all right here. It's all in your ears. It's all in here and learning to hear what the gongs can produce and keeping that information stored in your mind, that you know what your gongs sound like. So when you find a new gong, you can play it and go, this is going to work, or this is not going to work. So in the case of these 3 sentient gongs, I played them and it was like, yeah, these are going to work in my setup. I can use them for a lot of different things. Now, just a word about Chinese gongs in general and B20 bronze. I love the sound of B20 bronze. It's very different than B8 bronze or NS12 nickel silver or stainless steel or anything else. I have a lot of different bronze gongs, and the sound is great. To me, most bronze gongs are thicker than a Paiste gong or a comparable Euro gong. They're thicker and heavier. They tend to have more low end for the same size. Like these are both 28-inch. They tend to have more power because there is more mass there. And just a little different sound character. So when you're trying to build a setup, like I said in episode 0, at least for me, it's looking at trying to get a wide range of not only pitches, but sound textures and differences. So having this as a very low gong, B20 bronze, and in the Sun type, it has a very solid, heavy sort of sound. So that adds one thing to the setup. It's a good gong to maybe build off of. Now to add something else, like the number 0 here, it's still dark, but it's going to have, you could say this is a thick sound. This is going to be a bit thinner sound. But it has a very different character. Although if I was using this in my setup, I probably wouldn't use this one because they are both dark. And I would want something that's going to speak in a different voice. So going over to like the number 6. There's a wider pitch difference and just the sound character of it. Something in a smaller size, like this 22-inch, give me a very solid sound, but it's going to occupy a different space. Gives me a very different sort of crash and pitch compared to this. Here, something in a very small gong like this 16-inch here. It's going to give me that brighter sound compared to everything else. a little shorter sound because this is fairly small and heavy. Or like the small wind gong I picked up and used. Just give it a like sort of accent what I'm doing. A very brash sort of sound. This is a 16-inch wind gong I've had for many years. I got from Steve Weiss Music probably 15, 17 years ago. But it adds a real very thin sound. It's a thin gong. There's not much weight to it, so it's very thin and quick, sort of brash, as I said. Maybe in a handheld or something. So once again, that's my philosophy. I know some people who have, like I said, 8 planet gongs or 8 symphonic gongs or even 8 planet and symphonic gongs that to me all have the same sound character. It works for them. That's fine. And that's probably the big lesson here is don't do what I do just because I'm doing it. You know, take what you want from any of my videos or my blog or anything, and if it works for you, use it. If you don't agree with it or it doesn't work for you, well, then don't use it. That's been my philosophy in learning from others and listening to the greats before me is stealing the best ideas that actually work for me. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. I hope you got something out of this, especially mixing the B8 bronze with the B20 bronze. And don't be afraid to experiment and try things. I guess I should mention too, I mean, Burma bells are generally B20. These Ufip Sheng are B20. So there's a lot of other types of B20 bronze instruments out there that aren't necessarily gongs. But everything works well if you use your ear. That's the key. So get to practicing, go to work, understand all your instruments, get their sounds in your head, and you'll be able to put something together. All right, take it easy.